Hey people, Tina Tungan here, massage therapist in Denver and Boulder, Colorado, meditation, breathing, yoga coach, and I promised you the week of July looking at functional and dysfunctional breathing. So today I'm just going to introduce the concept, and also I got really excited when I found this video that I want to share with you guys that's on YouTube. And it is about diaphragmatic breathing. So what we're going to look at today, what is diaphragmatic breathing, and how can you tell if you're breathing well or dysfunctionally? So diaphragmatic breathing is when you are breathing well. It's when your diaphragm is being used. And let's find out more.
Important. Breathing is important. We live in a rather stressful time.
We're constantly bombarded with an enormous amount of sensory experiences.
And as Stacey Schumann says, you've got a tool to help you out.
What if it was as simple as just breathing?
Breathing can help to manage feelings of anxiety and stress, and even Sesame Street knows it. I've been teaching for 5 years, and I don't think I've gone a day without talking about breathing. But why is it so important? You might have heard of the fight or flight mechanism. It's the, oh my god, there's a tiger in that bush thing. It's a good thing sometimes when you need to run away from tigers, but other stressful situations can put you in that mode.
Which begins to activate that fight or flight mechanism within our body, throwing us out of balance.
So your body needs to chill out, and it uses the rest and digest mode to do it.
And you're tapping into your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest nervous system.
Rest and digest lets us unwind to stop seeing tigers around every and you can unwind using breathing. But why does just breathing work? Well, it's thanks to the vagus nerve. No, not the vagus nerve. The vagus... Anyway, it's the wandering nerve.
Vagus means wanderer in Latin, and it does. It wanders throughout your whole body, picking up signals to tell your brain how to feel.
And it means that when your brain receives bad signals from the belly, it starts hitting fight or flight. So when you're breathing anxiously,
the vagus nerve automatically puts you into a stressed out fight or flight mode.
So that means there's a good way to breathe and a bad way to breathe. And the bad way uses the neck and shoulders.
You see, your neck and shoulder muscles were never meant to be breathing muscles. It's an anatomically incongruous way to breathe.
Breathing in this bad way is very common.
9 out of 10 people breathe this way.
In fact, if I was to ask you to breathe in, right now, a bit more, and relax. Your shoulders probably went upwards when you breathed in and then dropped. In other words, you breathed wrong. So how do we breathe right? Well, we need to breathe with the diaphragm. When we breathe in, it's supposed to go down. The biggest part of our lungs are at the bottom, so we need to drop the diaphragm to inflate them.
Where is the biggest, most oxygen-rich part of your lungs? Right down here.
But there's a problem. All your organs and your viscera are in the way. They're just below the diaphragm, stopping it from dropping. So we need to get them out of the way for a sec. That means that as we breathe in, we need to inflate the belly.
And I'm gonna...
Inflating the belly shifts the organs and gives the diaphragm space to drop. This is singing teacher Eric Arsenault doing it. Notice his shoulders are dead still. 5 stars. Breathe in, belly out. Breathe out, belly in. Simple. But I've got one little secret that totally changed the way I taught people how to breathe. Most teachers teach breathing like this. You breathe in first.
And then we'll take a big breath in through the nose.
Bigger. Right now, I want everybody to just take a big breath in your nose.
And then you exhale.
Big breath out, let it go.
Exhale. And exhale 3 times longer than it took you to inhale.
With lots of counting. Voice teachers like counting.
1, 2,
Inhale for 4.
3, 4,
Hold for 4.
5, 6, 7.
Exhale for 6, hold for 2. We're gonna do it together. Ready?
trouble is, if you tell someone to just breathe in, they'll breathe into their chest. Look at these poor Sesame Street kids. Some producer has asked them to breathe in, and they did it the only way they knew how. And this happens all the time, as Elisa Vranch says.
You go to the doctor. The stethoscope goes here. They say, take a deep breath. And you think, my lungs must be up here.
Remember how I got you to breathe badly just before? All I asked you to do was to breathe in. Your bad habits are so ingrained that anytime I get you to breathe in, you breathe in badly. The secret is to do the opposite. Breathe out first. Try it. Stand up or sit up from the back of your chair.
I love this.
Breathe out. Notice the belly going back towards the spine. Is it all gone? All gone? Now here's the crucial moment. All your air is gone from your lungs, but don't think breathe in, just think relax. What happened? Your belly went out. It just recoiled. And you breathed in. Do you feel calm? Relaxed? So that's my
Fight or flight.
contribution. When you practice, breathe out before you breathe in, and then just let your belly recoil. This was not my idea. I'm indebted to singing teacher Janice Chapman and Charlotte Shorthouse from the Still Method for their bloody wonderful teaching. And remember, next time you feel stressed or anxious, or you just need to take a deep breath, breathe
out first.
Thanks for watching. If you want to get control...
So that video, I thought that was just a wonderful video. So it was the kind of video I would have wanted to make to share with you all. But wow, he did such a great job of gathering the information shared by previous teachers of breathing and then showing what works and what works even better or what didn't work. You know, thinking breathing in actually doesn't accomplish the goal. As I was researching this week about functional and dysfunctional breathing, you know, a lot of the medical sources talk about dysfunctional breathing or paradoxical breathing actually being from a physical trauma or a disease. And that didn't line up with my own personal experience at all. And so it made me really think about my own experience, and you know, my breathing is paradoxical a lot of the times when I'm not consciously doing yoga or practicing massage. During those times, I'm really calm and breathing naturally, but I find that when I am really crunching numbers or typing out, you know, a lot of my thoughts, or, you know, where I'm really just putting pressure on myself, actually, you know, my breathing becomes paradoxical. And so I started asking the people around me, and I realized that it is much more common than we realize. And doing some research through some of the scientific papers about what we do know about functional breathing and what we do know about dysfunctional breathing, it was interesting to discover that one of the scientific journals said that there's not a lot of medical understanding of dysfunctional breathing, and therefore it's underdiagnosed. It's not recognized in the medical profession, and a lot of it is misdiagnosed as asthma. So I just found that very interesting, and I'm going to keep studying about dysfunctional breathing, because what I have understood so far is from the yogic realm and the healing massage therapy realm, where, you know, it's so easy to get into that deeper functional diaphragmatic breathing because we're resting, and the vagus nerve and our whole system goes into that parasympathetic rest and digest, that easeful, relaxed place when we're doing these things like yoga and meditation and receiving a massage. And, you know, it's so easy in those places. But how do we keep that? How do we keep that belly breath awareness as we're moving through our daily life, as we're working, as we're, you know, playing with our kids, you know, just the normal playing with the kids is probably easier because they get us up and moving, you know, and then we're taking those bigger breaths where our bellies actually expand and it's healthy. But if you do find yourself having shorter labored breaths or breathing up here, where your shoulders are elevating, your neck is tightening, that's going to be the dysfunctional breathing that actually creates more of this sympathetic nervous system response, which is fight or flight that they were talking about in the video. And it is my experience, but I also believe that many, many people experience just some overstimulation with the amount of things happening in the world. And, I really do notice for myself that I can manage it much more easily when I take these deeper breaths. So these next 5 weeks, I'm going to be really intentional with sharing with you the awareness of how to do this. And I loved when I watched this video because they shared something that, I love to share with my clients when I'm in sessions, which is take that nice deep exhale. Let yourself really let go of anything you've been holding, just empty out. And then when your breath naturally wants to come back in, you're going to breathe that nice full breath because there is that space for it to come in. And so the way that they just coached it on here was to bring your diaphragm all the way in. So you're pulling in your diaphragm on your exhale. So we're just going to practice that a little bit today. Let me just move this back. So go ahead and place your hands right here on the upper part of your belly. And then as you breathe out, let your belly really come in and empty out your lungs. So your diaphragm moves up as you bring your ribs in and then let your breath just naturally come back in. And feel how your belly just naturally expands. So let's do that again with your hands on your belly. Go ahead and feel all of the air evacuating out of your lungs as you pull your belly in. Take that nice deep exhale. And then when your breath naturally comes back in, just relax and let your breath come in. So that's our tip for this week. You can practice that and just see how that might change some of your breathing. And, I like to just say, put your hand on your belly and sense your belly come out on your in-breath. But as they were pointing out on this video, so many of us, like the kids on Sesame Street, had already been trained to think of the lungs expanding from up here. And so they were doing that even with their hands on their bellies. So go ahead and try that exhale first. And then just relax on your inhale this week. Whenever you need that extra support of the breath, and see if that changes your experience to be more full of breath and life and energy. So I look forward to sharing more with you on this topic of functional and dysfunctional breathing and how to breathe well and feel good. Embodied blessings. Till next week. Tina.